um, on our FOX54 Facebook page. And when I get done rambling on about tomorrow, I'll answer those questions. If you hear noises, that's because Jordan is right beside me, working on the forecast for tomorrow. So you might hear him get frustrated or eat his granola bar. Or
I like my granola bars. Don't be hating on my granola bars.
This is going to be a very laid-back chat. Obviously, I'm not dressed like I usually would be for TV. I don't have to be on TV until a little bit later this afternoon. And of course, I'm not trying to be one of those with a scare tactic for tomorrow. You definitely need to take tomorrow serious, but tomorrow you don't need to go into it with impending doom by any means. I'm probably one of the most nervous people you will ever meet. I have very high anxiety levels consistently, and funny enough, I do have weather anxiety, and here I am with meteorology as my job. Am I a little bit nervous about tomorrow? Sure. Even when we have, slight risks, sometimes I get a little bit nervous about those as well, but tomorrow we have to have a lot of factors come into play at the right time for us to have what the Storm Prediction Center is calling an outbreak of severe weather. Could we see that tomorrow? Absolutely. But this is the latest update that we have right now. So the Storm Prediction Center, they did put out the day 2 outlook about 12:30, so about an hour and a half ago. They will update it again later tonight. But this is what the latest update is. I'm not surprised. I had kind of figured that they would introduce a high risk for severe weather. I will say that it is kind of on the rare side to have a high risk in a day 2 outlook, but that's just what the Storm Prediction Center is seeing at the moment. This is what they think is going to be best, and I feel like they are forecasting this as a worst case scenario, because when you have events like this that are or could be of this severity, you do need to go into it with a worst case scenario, and that is, we see numerous tornadoes tomorrow. We have the possibility for some of those tornadoes to be EF2 or even potentially greater. It's not anything uncommon here in Alabama by any means. We're in spring. Spring is our severe weather season. So, from March until about the beginning of May, that's when we always need to be on guard for spring severe weather season here in the Tennessee Valley. Okay, so my brother actually just commented. He said he's cooked. They don't have a basement. So if you don't have a basement, speaking specifically to you, Caleb, which, by the way, my brother was actually in Tuscaloosa during April 27th, 2011. So if anybody's going to have major storm anxiety, it's going to be him. And, that is very understandable. I'm not expecting tomorrow to be an April 27th, 2011 event by any means, but could we have tornadoes of that severity? Sure. Okay, just got a notification. Anyways, if you don't have a basement or a storm shelter is going to be your number one best and safest bet. You can go online. There is a list of storm shelters throughout the state of Alabama, and I can almost guarantee you that all storm shelters are going to be open tomorrow. If you don't have a storm shelter or can't get to one, the next best, safest option for you is going to be the lowest level of your home, in the most interior room, away from exterior walls. You're going to want to be away from windows, doors, things like that. It's like I said yesterday, when I was little, I use this as an example. When I was little, we would always go to my Nana's house if we had severe weather in the forecast, because I didn't grow up with a basement and I didn't grow up with a storm shelter. And she has this closet that is in the literal most interior room of her home within her bathroom, and that's where we would always go. We would always have bicycle helmets on, things like that. So definitely tomorrow, if you don't have, I'm reading the comments, so if you see me pause a little bit, that's because I'm just trying to make sure that I stay on top of things. So if you don't have a basement or a storm shelter to get to, you can easily go to the lowest level of your home, away from exterior walls and windows, and have some sort of a head covering, whether that be, you know, the mattress off of your bed. A bicycle helmet is always the best example to use. Items like that. So this is what we've got going on, and as I said earlier, I'm not surprised that they went high risk, just because the way the models are trending. And I don't want you, after I say this, I don't want you to think, oh, well, we're not going to get a severe threat for tomorrow. That's not the case. But I will say models have been trending the severest in the purple area. So that is southward of the Tennessee Valley. It does clip the southernmost portion of Coleman. Could they extend this northward? Sure. Could they extend this southward? Sure. We're not going to know that until they give us the latest update for the severe threat. So this that I'm showing you is for specifically tomorrow, between the time frame of 7 a.m. tomorrow until 7 a.m. Sunday. We are expected to see 2 rounds of severe weather, one of those coming tonight, and I say tonight as in 1 a.m. Saturday morning until probably 6 a.m. Saturday morning. And then it looks like we see some sort of a break from about 7 a.m. until about 11 a.m. noon potentially. And then after noon, that is where you're going to want to pay attention the most. The absolute most is going to be tomorrow afternoon. That's when we're expecting majority of the severe weather to happen, is tomorrow afternoon. And that is also not to say that we couldn't see a higher end tornado move throughout the overnight tonight, because we do have that threat for the overnight as well. In fact, I'll show you the storm threat for tonight. This is valid 7 a.m. this morning until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So for the overnight, we do have an enhanced risk for strong to severe thunderstorms, mainly along areas along I-65 and west of I-65. And then the rest of us remain in a slight risk, with it becoming lesser of an issue as you trend more eastward. So areas like Fort Payne, areas that are right along the Alabama-Georgia state line, they do have that smaller threat. And I want to talk about this specifically because people automatically will see the Storm Prediction Center's maps. They float around a lot on social media. They're very easily accessible. And people automatically associate danger with red. That is not what the SPC is trying to portray to you with this outlook. They're not saying that tomorrow is going to be Armageddon. They're taking this, sorry, I'm reading notifications. They're taking this as like green area, which is marginal. They have isolated threat to see storms, so isolated storms. Yellow threat is a scattered, I would say probably scattered chance to see, or scattered, I'm literally confusing myself. Scattered severe storms are possible in the yellow area. And then once you move into the orange area, that's when you have the chance for numerous severe storms. Once you start to get into the red, that's when you have a very high chance to see severe storms that are going to be likely. And then once you see that pink color, which is rare, that's when numerous severe storms are expected. This doesn't portray that the worst weather is going to be within the pink area. In fact, all of us in the state of Alabama have the same chance to see, you know, those higher end tornadoes. They have the chance to see those higher end wind gusts of around 75 miles per hour. They have the chance to see hail in a diameter of 1 inch or greater. That does not mean that only severe weather is going to be within those red areas and those pink areas. I wouldn't get too caught up on the different colors. just know that everywhere pretty much in the state of Alabama has a chance to see. We've got that opportunity for EF2 tornadoes and potentially greater. We have the potential for some of those to be long track. We have the threat for hail that could be around an inch in diameter, possibly even greater. We do have a flooding threat for tomorrow, and we also have the threat for damaging wind gusts of around 70 to 75 miles per hour. So that's what we're going to be watching for the most. So let's go ahead and move to Futurecast, because I want to show you kind of what we're looking at as of right now, the latest data that we're looking at. So here's right about now, not seeing a whole lot happening out there. Advancing this, heading into tonight, we'll start to see the clouds pick up a little bit, and then we start to see a little bit of rain move in. This is right around 11 o'clock, midnight, Saturday morning, and then notice how we'll start to see this cluster of storms move in right around 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. That's when we're going to have that window for severe weather to be a possibility early tomorrow morning. Now, this is just the first round of severe weather that we're expecting tomorrow. The main threat is what everybody's calling it on social media. The main event is likely to happen around noon until, I would say, probably about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock tomorrow evening. So notice how we don't really see a definitive pause between those two rounds of severe weather that we're expecting. It could work in our favor. We could see, the rain will help to stabilize the atmosphere a little bit. We might not have time to destabilize as much, therefore making the afternoon threat less severe. We have to have a lot of factors come into play for the absolute worst severe weather to happen tomorrow. Are these things going to align? We're not going to know that until it actually is beginning to happen. But of course, as these start to move through Mississippi, that's when we're going to kind of get a little bit of a greater idea of how it's going to trend more for us here in Alabama. So like I said earlier, it's nothing to be in complete panic mode tomorrow, especially if you have multiple ways to receive, tornado warnings if we do have those become issued. So that's going to be a NOAA weather radio, that's going to be your phone. I know the last time we had severe weather coverage here, we had a tornado warning here in Madison County. Well, that's where Jordan and I both are, that's where the station is. So our phones really obnoxiously loudly went off in the middle of our coverage, and you are going to have that if you have a tornado warning for your county. And of course, follow us around on social media. You'll have the TV aspect of it, but have those multiple ways to receive warnings, because, for example, if you lose power tomorrow, you're going to want to have your phone to be able to watch us on a live stream on Facebook or a live stream on YouTube, because we will do multiple areas of coverage if we do have a tornado warning tomorrow, not just the TV. We're going to be live on Facebook, we'll be live on YouTube, we'll be live on our app FOX54 Plus. So have multiple ways to receive warnings. Go ahead and know where you're going to go for your safe place tomorrow. I know for me, I'm going to be at work. I'm just keeping it real. I'll be here because I have to portray this message to you, especially if we do have severe weather. We're going to have to be on television for that, to warn you. I know my neighbors have a basement, so that's probably, where my dog will be tomorrow. But this is nothing to be in complete panic mode over. I've seen a lot of people on my Facebook ask where they could go out of state to get away from this. I don't think that's necessary tomorrow. In fact, you would probably be on the road driving, through this or trying to get away from it. I don't think that's safe. If you have your safe space and you're ready to go for tomorrow, once we have a warning become issued, you're going to be fine. I understand storm anxiety. I get it. I was here during April 27th, 2011. I was not yet a meteorologist, obviously. I was just someone who was very interested in the weather at that time, so I was just a person that lived through April 27th, 2011. And you probably see my brother commenting on it. He was down in Tuscaloosa for that day. And as we all know, we had the 4 tornado that moved through Tuscaloosa. So, you know, if anybody's got storm anxiety, it's going to be him. Tomorrow is not going to be like that. We are not expecting to have, we had over 100 tornadoes for that super outbreak. We're not expecting that to be the case tomorrow. Could we have tornadoes that are on that threshold of severity? Sure, we could possibly have an EF2 tornado. We could possibly have an EF3 tornado, even EF4 tornado. That's what our atmosphere is going to be primed for the most tomorrow afternoon, specifically within that time frame of around noon to about, I would probably say about 10 o'clock tomorrow night, midnight at the latest. So like I said, just have multiple ways to receive warnings. You know, like Caleb said, he's hoping for rain in the morning to help with the forecast. Me too. There are a lot of different scenarios that could play out to limit our severe weather threat tomorrow. We're going to be watching for how much moisture is able to build into the Tennessee Valley tomorrow as this rain approaches. If that low pressure system that's going to be hovering over us is going to be strong enough to bring in enough moisture to get things going tomorrow. We have the lifting mechanism that we would need for tornadic development. We definitely have got the shear, we've got the energy for it. It's just, are we going to have that much moisture in the atmosphere to kind of help this come to fruition tomorrow? So that's what we're going to be watching for the most. I am going to go ahead and get off of this Facebook Live. I don't see a whole lot of questions on here, and forgive me if I missed yours. If I didn't answer it, you can easily message me on Facebook, and I'll respond back to you, because we've got other things that need to be streamed on 54 Plus here within the next couple of minutes, and Jordan's putting together his forecast, so we need to talk about that as well. Teresa Simmons said, is a small bathroom or a closet still appropriate cover? Yes, if it is on the lowest level of your home, in the most interior part of your home. You don't want to have any sort of exterior walls within that bathroom or closet. You want that to be basically in the middle of your home. That would actually be your second best bet to go if you don't have a storm shelter or a basement. So like I said, nothing to be overly panicked about tomorrow. We're gonna get through this together. Jordan and I will be here. He'll be here all night tonight. I'll be here all day tomorrow as well as him. Perks of being a chief, Jordan, isn't that right? We will handle all of the tracking and how much, you know, the severity and relaying the message to you guys. You just need to pay attention. We are not expecting this to be a extremely gigantic big ordeal tomorrow. Just know that we do have that threat, that higher end threat for severe weather to develop tomorrow. As we get these updates throughout the day, throughout the night, throughout tomorrow, we're going to be posting these on our social media pages. They'll be on our FOX54 website, so you can always check that as well. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I'm going to get off of this Facebook Live. If you did just join in the middle of it, I'm going to leave it up on my Facebook so you can go back and watch it. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and end this Facebook Live, discuss things with Jordan, and then of course we're going to plan our best call to action, what our best call to action tomorrow is going to be. But like I said, don't be scared. I understand nervousness. I'm a little nervous about tomorrow too. I get nervous when the wind blows. But tomorrow is nothing that, you know, you need to go and pack your entire house up and move to a different state type thing tomorrow. It's just, it's spring in Alabama. It's a common thing here. You should always expect severe weather in the spring here in Alabama. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I think I've said that about 4 times now. I'm being for real now. If you do have any questions that I didn't get to or you haven't thought of yet, you can message me on Facebook and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But until then, we're going to be tracking things behind the scenes. And of course, whatever the latest change is within this forecast, we're going to be bringing that to you on Facebook as well. So be sure to follow me. Be sure to follow Jordan on Facebook. His Facebook is Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're actually going to be doing a live breakdown discussion of the severe threat for tomorrow on 54 Plus. If you don't have our app, you can download FOX54 Plus on your Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV. We're going to be doing that right after our newscast, so at 5:30. And then, of course, he'll be doing a Facebook Live at 8 o'clock. And then we'll be here throughout the night. We'll be here all day tomorrow until we, have to be. We will be here tracking this for you. So until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend and just be really weather aware heading into the overnight tonight and into tomorrow.